So network, okay. We discussed the network thing, right? Where was the migration thing?
Migration was, I think.
Okay, so migration thing I'm skipping for now because we discussed a lot. Okay. Yeah, let's come to design network. So first thing we have to remember, Ravi sir, because we are going to work in the hybrid environment, right? So we have to make sure that there should not be any IP address range conflict. That's a big problem. And in many projects, I'm seeing the same problem actually. And even in my project also, the on-premise, there are a lot of challenges actually in the dev environment and test environment. And that is also problematic. You have to make sure that the IP address range, what we're selecting on-premise, there should not be conflict with your Azure cloud, AWS or GCP IP address ranges for your VNet, for your VPC. Okay. You have to make sure that is the address space, nothing range. CIDR. What is CIDR, sir?
You subnet the
classless dynamic routing, right? VNet and VNet peering. So subscription and multiple assigned. Okay. Now coming to your these things actually, segmentation. You remember micro segmentation? What is micro segmentation, sir? Quick question.
Right now, not remember, sir.
Micro segmentation is like, as you have VNet, you have subnets, you have NSG. So all the network layer, you are securing your workloads at each workload, at each layer. That kind of isolation you are creating, segmenting the network with full security, right? And see, CIDR, the classless internet dynamic routing, right? That's your VNet IP range. Okay. And the connectivity you can get through peering, VNet peering, not to VPN gateway, right? Express route, and another solution, if you remember, private endpoints. You remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yes. If my and your project is not able to afford express route or VPN, we can go for private endpoints. Okay. So Azure DNS, need not to tell you. And all those things are repeated one here, and those things you have to make sure that there should not be any IP address conflict whenever you are going to selecting range, because see, no company is working completely completely cloud or completely on premise. Everyone is working hybrid environment. That thing you have to keep in mind, and you have to act accordingly. And you are not going to get any network administrator, network architect as a cloud. You are responsible for everything. Not on-premise, cloud one, you are completely wholesale responsible, sir. Might be on-premise, you are going to help from any network expert, but you have to design all those things. You have to, because things are pretty easy, compared to on-premise, right?
Yes.
No rocket science. So yeah, now try to understand this thing. Name relation customer providers. See, Azure DNS is providing complete DNS query. Suppose you want to use your own DNS server, right?
Yeah.
So yes, so same thing like domain thing you are managing, right? What you have to do, you have to take on VM, multiple VMs or one, because for high availability also needed. You can install DNS role.
Okay.
Right? In that way, you can create your, but that DNS will be applicable for your only your project, your subscriptions, your tenant kind of things, and nothing else. Right? It is specific to your project. That is also possible. Okay. And customer provided it, but in many cases I have seen very less use. In Azure WBD, you are using customer provided DNS? I don't think so. Not really, right?
Yeah.
No. So now coming, see, security things started, right? So like the main attacks which are very very popular, those are SQL injection, right? And cross-site scripting. SQL injection is like you are already aware of the SQL databases and all those things, right? But whenever any query is running, suppose if someone is going to modify from the outer side word, right, in the SQL query, the result is going to be changed. That's a big impact actually. So for SQL injection, for cross-site scripting, sir, like you are using browser, right? And this, by the same browser, you're using a Java project, you are using on .NET project, right? So something by some malicious software or something, that a cross-site scripting is going to change your, the programming or source code kind of thing, and it will impact your end results actually. In that way, that cross-site scripting. For all those things, what you have to use? WAF, web application firewall, in conjunction with AAG, Azure Application Gateway. Okay, sir? So remember this. And what is this virtual network security? So what you can do, you can apply you are going for any communication, try to use your NSG, right? For the front end especially. Your front end, what is front end means? What is communicating with your internet, right? On top of it, there will be Azure Open Door, there will be Azure Firewall, there will be Azure Application Gateway, there will be Azure Load Balancer, ALB. Lot of components are there, and they are working in conjunction to secure your complete Azure cloud. Okay, sir? So where you have to use what component, that decision you have to take as a Azure solution architect. Okay. And this is your express route connectivity, right? So what is happening here? Try to understand. So in express route connectivity, Ravi sir, most important component is your ISP, your internet service provider. Even Microsoft is also Microsoft is not providing internet services, Ravi sir, right? They must be using their service providers, internet service provider, right? So they are creating their edge, and on your data center, on your customer data center, you have to connect with your ISP to create two circuits for the express circuit 1, circuit 2 for high availability, right? If you remember, Ravi sir, this express route was initially introduced for O365 products, Exchange Online and all those things. And Microsoft extended the same express route for the cloud, complete Azure landing zone and Azure, landscape later on. Okay. So this kind of if company, because this is a very expensive solution, it's cost, huge cost is associated with this solution, Ravi sir. So it will depend which solution you are going to move for, VPN solution or this express route. And all the pricing you can get from Azure pricing calculator. Okay, that's one source where you can do calculation. Many times I've seen customers is asking for pricing, right? So I think we can refer for this one for pricing comparison. Actually, we can check Azure pricing calculator, and also t-shirt sizing. Everything we are going to get as a spreadsheet. I think I already shown all those things, right? So so express route is always recommended for hybrid network. Hybrid network means your on-premise is coming, your Azure cloud network is coming, right? Suppose you have multi-cloud also. You are using AWS also. You have to use Direct Connect. You are using Google Cloud. You have to use Internet Connect. Interconnect. So interconnect, direct connect, express route, all maximum, all same solution, but with different name. Yes. Same like Azure Monitor in Azure, and CloudWatch in AWS, and in Google it is Operation. Earlier it was Stackdriver. So it's tough to remember all those terms actually, right? That's challenging. But connectivity wise, need not to tell you. So you are going to be express route, you are going to do any, VPN connectivity, everything is possible. Okay. So all those circuits and everything will be taken care by your ISP. Okay. And Microsoft will be engaged to do your configuration and everything. But you have to decide what kind of bandwidth you want to choose. You want to go 50 Mbps, you go to for 100 Gbps, it will depend upon your company infrastructure. Okay. And it works on BGP protocol, remember that. Okay. Rest, you will understand when you are going to configure any express router, real-time scenario. Okay, so connect. See, ISP is very important. First consideration, and on-premise high bandwidth routers, right? That's the second requirement. Circuit. Who will manage circuit? ISP. And it works on BGP protocol. In your environment, on-premise environment, BGP should be enabled. Those are requirements. It works at layer 3, and for the monitoring, you are going to use Azure Connectivity Toolkit and Network Security Appliance, NBA. Even like we talked about Hub and Spock, the firewall configuration. So this is the example actually. Suppose you have Azure firewall, sir, right?
Yeah.
And your customer want your on-premise firewall also to be used. So what option you can think of? NVA concept. Network virtual appliance, same like Netscaler. Remember, it's a virtual appliance you are installing on one of the VM, right? Virtualized server, and from there you are managing your Netscaler appliance, VPX, right? Same way, all the firewall players like Palo Alto, Cisco, FireEye, they have their own appliance which are available on Azure Marketplace. From there, you can take that, install into your Azure cloud, and use the NVA concept, Network Virtual Appliance. In that way, your both firewall are working to managing your hybrid environment, right?
Yeah.
So that option is also available. Okay. So the architecture kind of, so always remember Azure Bastion. That's a very important concept. And because you will see option of RDP, you will see option of SSH, but Bastion is the most secure option. As a cloud security architect in future, you should always recommend it to go for Azure Bastion Subnet NSG. So yeah. And one question actually, suppose I applied lock on any RDP and any VM virtual machine. Okay, Azure lock. Can you take RDP of that machine or not?
Lock we applied. Basically, lock purpose is my. I mean, if anyone want to delete or anything, no. So
so you can take RDP or not?
Not able to access. I think you will not able to.
No, that's wrong, sir. Wrong thought. You can take RDP. You cannot make any changes, but you can take RDP.
Okay.
RDP is not because lock. The meaning of the lock is like read only is there and can't delete. You cannot modify and you cannot delete it, but you can access it. And that is certification question, sir. Yeah. So that was certification question and interview question also. Yeah, because I was also confused. If it's locked, it should not be accessible, kind of, child lock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, you are not going to only secure your, your security point of view. You're not going to only secure your network. You're not going to secure your compute. You are going to secure application as well. SecDevOps, right? And DevOps access means you're also going to access your ADO process, Azure DevOps process, right? So you have to play around from there, and you need not to install your Visual Studio on your laptop. You need not to install your, Azure TFS server, Team Foundation server. Everything you are going to get into Azure DevOps online with license of basic. There are 2 licenses, sir, of Azure DevOps. First one is stakeholder, which is free. Okay. Another license is basic. With basic, all those things you are going to get what I just discussed with you. Okay.
Yeah.
So remember those, all those things you will get when you are going to work on those things actually. Any questions, sir? I'm moving a little fast. I hope you will not mind it. little fast. Because if I will go slow, it will again take 1 month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1 week, we'll try to finish. Any thought? Any question?
No, sir. I think it's many times these things actually we discussed earlier
Yeah,
also.
repeated. Yeah, repeated also. So I think the migration part came here, right? Yeah. So Azure Migrate is the main tool which you are going to use in Azure Cloud, right? And there is no difference in Azure migration, and there is no difference in your AWS migration or Google migration, Google Cloud migration. The process is totally same, but yes, you are going to use different tool altogether. That's it. Okay. And if you remember, all those things I already explained you, right? As a layman, here, they're providing you theoretical, all those things. I don't think I already, assessment. I explained you better than this, actually, if you remember correctly. Yeah. And that's a real time scenario. And thank you to Wipro, who has provided those trainings, in-house trainings, actually. That was really lovely, sir. I'm very grateful for those trainings provided by Wipro, sir. Okay. One thing, remember, Ravi, sir, CAF, Cloud Adoption Framework. Okay. So actually, many companies are inviting Microsoft, to do the audit of their environment.
Okay.
Things are already in place or not. And that includes security audit also, sir. Why I'm highlighting this cloud adoption framework? Because we are already currently working with the client and with the engagement of the Microsoft. So Microsoft is doing some audit work in our environment. So they are going to check your everything, starting from identity access management until monitoring, Azure monitoring. If everything is in place, rightly placed or not, those things they are going to check, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So remember this cloud adoption framework. And see, very less is written here. I have 7 RLane strategies I've already told you. Okay. Rehost, relocate, refactor, retire is not mentioned here, So there are 7 RLane strategies. Remember that, sir. It is going to help you in interviews. Okay. Yeah. I already encashed that. Migration planning. So you are going to use, the assessment part, what kind of tool you are going to use, third-party tool, Microsoft tool. Always remember, you have to use many third-party tool as well, along with Azure Cloud Native tools. Okay. Steps. These are the steps, how you are going to, the migration steps. It will depend. You have on-premise environment. On-premise environment is VMware ESXi, then these steps. If Hyper-V, steps will be changed. If you are Citrix hypervisor, steps will be changed. Okay. For suppose you have to migrate database, right? So you are going to use your Azure ADMS, Azure Database Migration Service. Especially that tool is more viable for your Microsoft SQL databases, actually.
Okay.
Okay, sir. So migration is good to know, because it's really, complete assessment you are going to do with the Azure Migrate. Okay. And this is the console what you are going to get when you are going to start, the discovery assessment. You can check in the Azure portal also. Same thing you are going to get. And remember, clients are concerned about agent and agentless thing.
Yeah, you told nowadays more focus on agentless.
Agentless, yes, right? So how things work in the migration, try to understand this picture, actually. So first you are going to go do to discovery, right? So you can start discovery from Azure Migrate, and if Azure Migrate is not giving you good data, you can go for VMC Remedy. If you remember correctly, I already told you VMC Remedy is very powerful to do the infrastructure discovery, and for application discovery, I will always suggest you, I think, device 42. Yes. Okay. So these are your inputs, and these things you are going to get. It will show you the costing also, because see, in assessment, in the planning phase also, customer will be looking for the month, billing data, right?
Everything is depend on billing.
Cost is important factor, and being Azure solution architect, it is expected from you, sir, to give, this will be not exact amount, but rough idea actually, lump sum amount. And migration, Azure Migrate is not very powerful tool, I will say, for migration. You have to use many other tool like Plate Spin is very powerful. What generally we are using.
Space.
Plate Spin.
Okay, plates.
Yeah, so let's say, remember VMware converter, remember? Yeah, so VMware converter, P2B, V2B, that is not powerful. That's why customer has to go for Plate Spin. That is really powerful, and it is paid services, nothing free, sir. Okay. And so always database migration will be offline, database. Online also you can use, but always recommended go for offline database. Even you can migrate databases from AWS, Google. So for Azure, AWS is kind of on-premise. Getting my point? So you can migrate on things. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So all those things actually, when you get any project by doing all those things, then it will clear actually. I'm telling you. You need actually hands-on experience on those things. The migration.
Straightforward, I'm not going to get it, but yeah, if I have idea, right, at least a small piece of things also, if I got to get right, so I can
right. Yeah, makes sense. So actually, you already did a migration in on-premise data center. I remember correctly. I can recall.
My Bajaj Allianz very 9 years, no? So good repo there. Then they give me chance. We did it.
Yeah, that is like that experience you have. Really, it is going to help, sir. I'm telling you. Yeah. So. Authentication and authorization we covered a lot, but I will cover few things here, important things actually. Okay, like so no customer is dependent on single identity, sir, nowadays, right? They don't want only on-premise Active Directory. They don't want only Azure Active Directory. They want Okta solution, and SailPoint, and different. There are hundreds of identity solution. So what they want, there should be some primary identity solution, and in the back end, there should be other service provider identity, because you can't use one identity solution for everything. And all the customers now using modern authentication, supported cloud service provider identity. So Azure Active Directory is the first. Second, you can explore Okta. Okta is might be not mentioned here. Okta solution. And SailPoint is the last. What generally we are also using in our project for our customers. Okay. So those kind of thing actually there. So single enterprise directory, centralized Azure AD. You're going for block legacy authentication, means you don't want to allow Kerberos, NTLM. Remember all those things, right? So those things are not supported now, and always use the passwordless is also coming nowadays, and always use this thing PHS. Remember PTA PHS, password hash sync and password authentication. If you remember.
I mean, some keys kind of authentication.
Right. Yes. Token system. I'm coming to manage identity. See, authentication is happening. OpenID Connect and authorization, and then OAuth 2.0. Right. So authentication happening through the interviewer asks questions. Sir, what is difference between OpenID and OAuth? What you have to remember? OpenID, OIDC is going to do authentication, but authorization will be done by OAuth. Okay. People generally speaking get confused with these words. I'm telling you. Okay. Ravi sir.
Yeah, I think I was speaking on mute.
Yeah. Don't be mute. I will be confused, sir.
अरे ये बच्चे बहुत हल्ला कर रहे हैं.
बच्चे नहीं चाहते हम पढ़े, right? So, okay. Multi-factor, need not to tell you. You already aware about that. That is really important. Conditional access on top of it in conjunction with MFA. Conditional access. Azure policy you are going to apply. MFA policy will be taken care of. So there are, 5 steps checklist to protect against any threat attack, cyber attack using AD. So remember, credentials should be strong. Means you have to define the password policy. You are not going to define that policy. IM people will be doing, but you should know, right? Reduce attack surface, automate threat response by using Sentinel, Azure Sentinel, SIM solution. Utilize cloud intelligence means use machine learning, artificial intelligence. And last, SSPR. What is SSPR, sir? Self password reset. Yeah, self-service password reset. Yes. So these are the, points which we have to remember, right? Strong authentication should be there. And ATR, automate threat response, that you are going to get through by enabling Azure identity protection, risk policy, user sign-in, like conditional access. So person sitting in US, he should not be allowed to log in from India, right? At the same time, all those security. Cloud intelligence will come by using your machine learning, artificial intelligence capability. SSPR, service desk will take care of, need not to worry. Single sign-on, need not to tell you, you already might be knowing a lot of things on that. Remember PHS. Password has sync. PTA, so always recommended use PHS. Okay, sir? With SSO, single sign-on. PTA is not right solution, but in case customer is looking for, customer is willing for PTA, then you have to enable that. Make sure that all security in place, right? Okay, sir. For hybrid, yeah, this tree we already discussed. Not going to B2B integration, same like single sign-on, and that to B2C, B2B, all those things we can. Yeah. So for managing multiple subscription, what will be your solution, sir? Go for management group. Simple. Yeah. And yeah, one thing is missing here that I want to highlight here. That is not written here. Manage identity. What is manage identity? That's an interview question.
I mean, always access which we are providing. Manage identity means suppose we have.
Your voice is
Now it's okay?
Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah.
Basically, what I understand with manage identity means suppose we have XYZ user, and the role and responsibility are change of those users. So to provide the appropriate access, right, so that he can do only his job. So manage identity come in the picture where we assign the appropriate role with that feature.
No. So actually, let me take whiteboard session for that. That's very important. I don't want to miss important things, sir. Very important. It's interview question, and it is going to help you.
Okay.
You can see my whiteboard, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Let's discuss. So actually, this manage identity, Ravi sir, you have user, right? You have group. You have VM. You have application, and you use your service account as well. The service principal service account, right? Service principal or service account kind of. So the problem is manage identity is is kind of different thing actually altogether. It is you remember our NetScaler thing, STA.
Yeah.
So that was the token system, right? Same thing is going to use by manage identity. What will happen? You suppose you have a number of applications in your environment, right? You're using Citrix application, you're using X application, Y application. So what you have to do, you have to register those applications, right?
So you told me these things, I think, yeah, application
Yeah,
registration.
yeah, right. So I'm just revising those things. Remember this thing, and 80% public are not knowing managed identity. I'm telling you. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to register those applications on the Azure Active Directory portal, right? And you have to enable the management, your managed identity as well. You can enable for VM also. You can enable for application also, sir. That's the beauty of this managed identity. Means your user ID and password, your passcode will be not exposing to internet.
Okay.
What managed identity will do? Managed identity in the back end, it will be contacting to your Azure AD tenant. Okay. It will be connecting to your RBAC policies, right? But in the front end, managed identity will be showing like it's managing by token system. Like, there will be some secret key token system, same like STA. Public key, private key, or token system, and that will be managed by the managed identity. So it's like kind of long process and secure process. And just to enable one application can access another application. When you are accessing VM RDP, right? You are putting user ID and password, right? Those things are not required. Only you have to go to browser, click on your VDI, no user password required. It will be connecting through managed identity, provided it is enabled for you for your VM. Getting my point? Yes. So this is kind of security thing. Okay. Managed identity. And why I'm highlighting this? Because remember, it is really going to help in your, further meetings with the client and customers. Okay. Hope it's clear. Little bit. You can read it offline also whenever you get time. Managed identity. That will give you, I have already given you Startup India.
Actually, now I will get some time because last 1 week I was completely occupied with this design thing with my manager.
Right.
So not getting any time from morning to evening. It was.
And do you have time over the weekend as well, or no? Weekend. Yeah. So because I'm in hurry, and because of this security batch is waiting, so I want to finish soon actually, with your permission. Okay.
No problem, sir.
Yeah, because
I also want to be complete this little shorter time so that I can focus on other thing also.
Yeah, earlier problem was, right, a lot of discussion was there, and the person was eating a lot of time actually, right? So you have to also make sure that your Azure cloud governance is defined, right? And governance is defined not only for your identity and access management. It should be for your network security, right? It should be for your endpoint security, right? So for endpoint security, we are using CrowdStrike product. Okay. There should be IRP, incident monitoring and response, SIM solution, Azure Sentinel. I'm talking about this one. Okay. Policy management, you're going to manage GRC, global risk control, GRC team, sir. Plus your complete RBAC control, your security center, your Azure policy will combinedly work. And the last, not least, identity security and standard. You're going to define all those things like PIM, privileged identity management, PHS, and your Azure Active Directory identity production. It is going to work with all these set of standards, like you are going to use HIPAA framework, right? You're going to use, CIS, NIST, CIS, all those things are going to things. So kind of, so these are required to define the governance and all. What we are talking about, completely Azure security. Okay. So there should be audit environment. That's why we invited Microsoft to do the audit, right, sir? Policy monitoring, RBAC role, compliance. So security is not one day game, sir. It's a continuous game, and you have to be.
Ongoing
You
activity.
have you watched this Money Heist, sir, by chance?
With
Money Heist, Netflix.
no.
Okay, I will advise you, go and try to watch over the weekend. I will not take classes for you over the weekend. Okay, I'm giving you 1 hour at least. Try to watch one or two series actually. Okay,
Okay.
and that is the starting point for the cloud security in the year 2022. If you will not watch, your thought process will not change, sir.
Okay.
Watch American Sniper, shooters. See, don't worry. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm giving you the right idea, sir. Start watching all those things. Your thought process will change, sir. You will start thinking like security person. Getting my point?
Yeah.
So invest some time. And if you are really serious, I will skip the classes over the weekend. If you are watching Money Heist and American Sniper, I need a screenshot of that.
So for that, the class not need to be. I mean, skip. I can.
Okay, I will class. So that's it. That's
Meeting,
lovely audience. Lovely, sir. So if you want to watch that way, I will go to class. So win-win situation for both, right? Good.
Yeah.
We'll do that. So Azure policy, Azure inbuilt policy, your custom policy, those kind of thing, and mostly you are going to use ARM templates for complete automation, sir. Okay. So doing manually, all those things are going to create conflict. So it is advisable, go for Azure for ARM templates, and make sure that you are using different ARM templates for production, different templates for your test environment and dev environment. Because what I found in my project, the customers, vendors are using same ARM templates for production, same for this one, dev also. That should not be the case. Okay. Azure Blueprint, already I told you, RBAC, Azure Policy, plus ARM templates combination. Earlier, it was in preview. Now it is into GA, general availability. But nobody is using. This is also fact.
You told me about the story, right?
Yes. So I will stop here, sir. We covered a lot of things. Like a rocket, like a bullet train. Okay. We already tried to cover many things. So what I will do, I will try to cover remaining things. Tomorrow is Friday, right? So one day also we have. So what I will do, I will try to cover at least, 3 to 4 modules on Friday. Okay. And rest will cover on Saturday, and Sunday will take rest. Need not to worry about that. Okay, sir.
Okay.
But one advice, sir, for you. Again, one more advice.
Yeah.
Every Friday, just Google it, Azure Friday. Google it quickly.
Just a minute. Azure. Azure Friday, yeah.
Subscribe the channel. It's a Microsoft channel. Okay. Every Friday, you have to spend 1 hour actually for this.
Sign in. I need to sign in, right?
Yes, sign in, subscribe it, and make sure that make a practice of every Friday, 1 hour. Try to give this Azure Friday. What will happen? It will pump you to be in line with what is going in Azure cloud, right? A whole week update we will get within 1 hour, sir.
Username would be what?
Azure Fridays. Your Microsoft ID only, yeah. Your ID, Gmail or Hotmail, whatever you're using, sir. Anything you can use.
Oh,
okay.
That it was not taking. Yeah, I will do.
Yeah, just do it offline, and you will be appreciating me. Thank you, Ratnesh, for this Azure Friday. I'm doing it. Just advising for you, because this is not finished, right? We are going to meet again in 2022. long journey.
yeah.
Yes.
So I
Right?
need to, I'm interested on that security things also.
Yeah. So we'll start in New Year. In New Year, actually, a lot of
So
batches are.
what you are going to charge? If you tell me, at
We'll
least I
discuss.
can
We'll
plan.
discuss in 2022. Don't worry. Okay.
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 Sure.
Don't take that stress. Let's focus on, whatever you're doing. Try to learn all those things, and we'll get in touch in 2022.
Yeah, right.
Okay, sir. So let's connect tomorrow to finish remaining sessions. Okay, sir. Thank you. Bye.